All right, we're gonna start it here. What's good with everybody? I want to welcome y'all to another episode of the Royal Roundtable Talk. We got our usual group here. We're supposed to have Carly and Trina on here tonight, but they both had some stuff come up, so we're gonna go ahead and rock out without them. But I got your boy Fridge Financials, the professor of economics in. How you feeling today, bro?
Oh, dude, I wish I got paid professor salary. Let me tell you, dude, I'm not even close to professor pay here. I'm doing good, man. School starts up this week. We got some trainings coming up on Thursday, so this is like I guess last hurrah. But no, I'll be around for the Sunday streams. But the last couple months have been nice, little relaxing time. I'm ready to get back in the classroom, though. Honestly, I'm excited to teach again because I've been kind of bored a lot. So I'm looking forward to this market, though. It's gonna be another crazy week in the market. I already know it. Who knows what's gonna happen? But I'm ready to make some money, like we all are. So.
Definitely,
Should be a fun
definitely.
time. And as always, Royalty, thanks for having me on. As always, I appreciate you.
Cool. We're definitely glad to have you, and it's been a huge help, having you out during the summer and being able to kind of focus in more with the group, and we appreciate you, bro. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, of course, man. No problem at all. But yeah, dude. I mean, it's gonna suck, getting up super early in the morning, and I'm gonna get like 14,000 notifications from like New Fish and Perunga and all that. And I can't even read them because I'm gonna be teaching. We just put in a new phone policy, and so like they even said like we can't use phones unless it's an emergency for us.
Wow.
So like I can't. So like I can't even like if I wanted to trade like in my class, I can't even trade because they're gonna put the policy on us too. So.
I mean, I would think that your 401k is an emergency. So
I'm saying, dude, like my mental health of not losing 5Gs in a couple hours is more important than teaching.
right, it's gonna make you a better teacher for that class. I guarantee it.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I mean, that's gonna kind of suck a little bit, but I mean, I'll be able to recap a lot of what's going on here. And when we get that occasional, day off, we get a lot of days off for like holidays. Like the market's still open, so when those come in, I'm gonna be hopping into these live calls and stuff like that with you guys. So I'll be around still.
Yeah, yeah. Well, like I said, it was good having you here for the summer, but I know that's gonna suck when you got to step back into the classroom, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. But hey, this place is awesome, man. It's like a second home to me. Let me tell you. So whoever joins this kingdom, dude, is someone else. Let me tell you.
All right. So we also have we got everybody's favorite new fish, big pond, big fish is what I call them. How you feeling, bro?
I'm doing great, man. Doing great. I hope everybody's enjoying their weekend. Just relax a little bit, touch some grass, and get prepared for tomorrow, man.
Yes, sir.
Tomorrow's gonna be it.
Tomorrow's definitely gonna be interesting. And last but not least, we got the dragon of the kingdom, Perunga. What's going on, bro? How you feeling?
Well, hey, feeling good. Happy to be here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So first thing we want to do today, before we start answering everybody's questions, looking at stocks and everything, we'll go ahead and um, cover the SPY, cover the Qs, see how they're looking going into next week and where we're coming from. And then after that, we can take a look and see if we have any red folder events, anything that could possibly impact the market. We're going to check all your crypto, some of you guys' favorite stocks. And then from there, we'll just start, taking questions in, taking in tickets, anything that's going to help you out next week, guide you a little bit better, or make buying opportunities, selling opportunities a whole lot easier. So, first things first, I do have my spot chart pulled up. Let's see. And you guys did say y'all can see the chart pulled up and everything?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right, so as you can see, going in the last week, this 646 level has been like really tough for us to break. Um, Actually, over the past 2 days. So all week, this has kind of been a level that I've been watching for to see how it's going to play itself out and see if we can actually push because I was hoping that we was going to be able to make at least new highs this past week. But with this daily candle closing at the way that it closed, I'm still bullish overall, but I'll be watching next week for some declining chop just because we'll need to still rely on us breaking this 646 level. So um, We closed out pretty good, closed the week out pretty good, closed it with a nice green candle. Everything within this 643 to 637 level, that's going to be the primary levels that I'm going to be looking for buyers to step in and calls back up to this 646 retest if we haven't already gotten, up there by tomorrow morning. So, um, let's see if we have any gaps anywhere inside that area, which I haven't seen any. No, I don't see any gaps that we have to worry about. There's a mild one down here around 636, but keep in mind everything between 646 and 634. I'm still gonna keep that validated inside of this bullish weekly candle that we're coming off of previously. So these are my buying levels. I want to see us hold within this range right here in order to push up. My weekly target is going to be 651. I got alert set already on the sides, so that way, as soon as these levels come into play, I'm already alerting you guys. I don't like to trade if they're not retesting the lines, because the line retest gives me an idea where the support's going to hold up. If we drop and break this, then I'm going to look for calls, you know, at least a price action to retest 643 or 640, because this is going to be a big accumulation zone for us next week. So, like I said, unless we break this 634 level down here, that'll be my break of structure. That's what's going to cause me to shift more momentum to the downside, and it's going to want me to focus on these gap ups right here. These green boxes, those will be my bearish targets. Now, it's easy to try to convert, a bearish thesis after what we've been seeing, being able to break a high up here. But, the market's they're gonna play the manipulation games until retail's actually, exhausted, until they just give up hope that we're never gonna go back down here. So the first thing that I would watch for as an indication for more weakness would be a gap down. If we can see something like this red box over here, this will serve as a buyer zone. So right here, we saw it actually gap up to get out of there, but normally you will see prices roll over and come back down to fill this. This is probably where a lot of traders started getting frustrated, right around this level right here, because they were looking for the shorts back down, and instead the market took the high road and brought us up to where we are now. So as of right now, for me, I'm gonna say play calls until calls don't work anymore, unless you see a change of structure or a break of structure below 634. Then we probably can go into a downtrend further to start filling these gaps right here. Back down to 622, 623. So that's not out the books. We just need to look for a clean confirmation before taking a downside road on the spot. So if I want to go and look at the Qs now, just to see how tech is, and I probably need to check, but I think SPY has United Healthcare or some type of health stock as part of its holdings. I can't remember that, but that could be kind of dragging the SPY down or helping it. All right, so this is the Qs, and looked like we had big rejection around that 583 zone. So we closed off Friday red, but if we go and we look at the weekly, you see that we still closed pretty green. We have a lot of buying power around all the way down to 559. So still, like I say, even last week with the pullback from 683, bulls stayed strong enough to keep this green candle to close out the week. If we were going into a red candle or something, then you would look for selling power, selling momentum. But since we do have a green, I'm either watching to see if we trade sideways or we're gonna break this and actually start off the bearish momentum going into the end of August. So let's see the daily. 30 minute. Okay, so here's our gaps for Qs on the 30 minutes. We got some all the way down to 555, and then we have another one down to 569. So, of course, in order for me to say we need to start looking for more downside momentum, we'll have to break this structure right here at 571. Once that structure is broken, then you can start looking for these support levels right here to actually serve as resistance once we break this plane here and start looking for more of a continuation to the downside. So as long as we don't break that and we maintain these lows, I would watch for Q calls at 574, 577, 580, and I watch for a retest and a breakout above 583, which was last week's highs, last Wednesday's highs. So once we break this, then we can start looking for more upside momentum up to 588.
And are these your levels for the week?
These are my levels for the week.
Okay, I just didn't know what your time frame was. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, these are my weekly levels. So both SPY and Qs. I'm still bullish on them until we break the prior week's lows. And if we break those lows, then we can start transitioning into more of a downside look to see if we need to change our beliefs. But as of right now, my beliefs is still go with the bulls and let the charts change before you shift your thesis to. Because we never know what this news is gonna come. That's probably why the news has actually, in my opinion, been moving the way that it has been. Is because people they have reason to think that the market's out of steam when it's not. It hasn't given us or shown us a reason to shift. And I think me and Mirage was talking, and he asked me, he was like, when should I, when do you think we'll go down? I told him just keep buying calls until calls don't work no more. And this was before we even hit all-time highs. So just don't shift before the charts actually shift. The news with Trump is just irrational. We don't know what we're gonna get from day to day, let alone week to week. So you just have to continue to kind of tune in and out what noise matters to you. And if nothing really sounds good, then focus on what you know, which is for me the charts. What you were saying, Parunga?
Well, and that's why it's important to stay small, because once it shifts, then hopefully your losses are small, and then you can move on to the bearish side or whatever, neutral, whatever you want to do. To exactly your point of keeping to ride the bull wave while it's going.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not trying to interrupt you, by the way. So
No,
sorry.
no, you're fine. That's just my whole thing. Do we have any red folder events that's supposed to be coming, Fridge?
Not really. This is actually a relatively quiet week. The only ones that are big heavy hitters are going to be jobless claims Thursday, along with it's jobless claims. It's S&P Global Composite PMI, which focuses on the service index. We also have manufacturing index, which are important on Thursday, which is more of seeing like where the data or how the data is showing for services in the job market and how it's expanding or contracting. And then Friday's the heavy hitter because it's the Jackson Hole Symposium, and that's where Jerome Powell does his biggest speech for the year. And it's probably going to be addressing a lot of things about interest rates, the labor market. So that's a very, very important thing to mark your calendar for is this Friday. And especially going into a weekend. I don't know if they usually do it going into a weekend or not. I would have to look at last year's and see when it was. But, giving them a weekend to digest what Powell says could be in for a little bit of some turbulence, maybe, depending on if people like it or not. If he's hawkish, if he's dovish on Friday about where the future is for our economy. So Friday is definitely the one to listen to Jerome Powell to see what he comes out with and what his predictions are for the market. And I believe people are saying it's his last one also because he's going to be he's going to be maybe not being renewed obviously next year for the Trump administration, it seems like. So this is his last one, so who knows what he will say before he's done here.
So what you think? Do you think things can get a little messy with that being one of the factors?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where, again, it's all about what he says and how he says, and what he's uses for words and terminology. Like there was the last time where he said, in the FOMC meeting, you guys are lucky we didn't raise rates. And I'm like, whoa, dude, like we never had that on the table. That was never even predicted to be on the table. And he was like, oh, you're lucky about this. So I don't know if he's going to just say whatever because it's maybe his last one doing it. He's going to just kind of go out guns blazing. I don't really know. I don't think he will because he seems like he really tries to be a professional with his speeches and what he uses for terminology. But he's going to be probably addressing interest rates. I would almost be certain he's going to be talking about the labor market and answering questions about the labor market. I think it could also turn into one of those things like Gio says, where it could be neutral, where he might just be like, we have to wait and see what happens with the data, which is what has been his, go-to strategy to say. And it's kind of worked out so far where we see, PPI data comes in super hot last week compared to expectations. CPI is pushing up higher, showing inflationary pressures are coming in maybe from tariffs, which is why I keep saying don't cut rates. And now there's a chance of it being a rate cut. There's a huge chance of a rate cut in September now. So there's going to be a lot of things, and everybody's going to be listening to this meeting. And I can promise you, there's going to be a lot of people listening to this to see what he says, and they're going to pick apart every single thing he can. So he might just be, very, very vague and gray, and just kind of just say, I'm going to look at the data over and over again. I have no idea. It'll be interesting to see, though.
Did you see what Gio just typed in the chat?
You leave it to the next guy? Yeah, that's what they all do. They're gonna be like, yeah, you got it, dude. Hey, I don't know. I mean, who knows who the next guy's going to be? Obviously, we don't even know. But, yeah, it's probably going to be the next guy, and then the next guy's going to just do whatever Trump probably tells him to do, and then the market's going to be awful, and then we're going to be upset and cry, and, But,
So do they already have somebody that they have in mind for, who was it? Didn't they already have a couple of candidates?
They had, Fish, who were the one we talked about this a while ago. I forgot who it was.
We were, and
a week ago we talked about it.
One is a Fed governor, I think.
Waller's one.
Waller. Thank you. And then the other one that I remember. So Secretary Bessent, we know is out. Or at least we think that he's out because Trump said that he wants to keep him where he is. I can't imagine Howard Lutnick going from Commerce to the SEC. So the only other person that I could think that it would be is Kevin Hassett, who is the senior economic advisor to the White House.
Right.
And he was during his last term as well.
Yeah, so and then Kevin Warsh is another one that Gio said also in chat. Kevin Warsh is another one, apparently. I don't really know who that guy is, but I know Kevin Hassett and Chris Waller are the ones that have been really, really known.
Yeah.
So, So, I mean,
what term is up? I'm sorry.
What's up? What's up, Fish?
When did you say Powell's leaving?
Well, people are speculating this is his last Jackson Hole meeting that he'll be doing under the Fed chair, the head of the federal government, the head of the Fed and stuff like that. So I don't know. Again, I know his contract is up, I think next year at some point. I can look it up really quick.
I just looked it up and it said January 31st, 2028. That's what Google told me.
Oh. While his term as chair, so he's still going to be on the board, but maybe not the Fed chair.
Okay, thank you.
So that's what it is. Yeah. Thank you. So that's probably what they're saying. Like he's the last one leading it. But again, at the end of the day, like the whole Fed makes this decision. It's not just him that is calling the shots and saying, "Everybody, listen to me." It's everybody. There's votes, right? There's not just like he says whatever he's going to say and that's it kind of thing. So, I mean, he's still going to be on the board just as a governor, not the head not the head. So, but I mean, it's going to be a roller coaster. I feel like to see what happens, and the market. I can promise you, the market's going to react in some way to see who's next elected, which I don't think people usually really expect, but. Having a new Fed chair, I think, in this administration is going to shift this market somehow. I don't know how it's going to shift. I would love to know how it's going to shift, but you put the wrong guy in there, and it's going to be some turbulence, I feel like. But, yeah, this is the last big speech he's got coming up this week. So either listen to it on Friday. I cannot. I will be obviously doing training. Sadly, so I'll have to sit back and watch it after work and listen to it and see if there's any kind of like important things he says that I'll try to cover at some point, maybe in a video. But yeah, so those are the red folders royalty for you. It's Java's data on Thursday, then Jackson Hole Friday.
Appreciate it. Hey, real quick, I talked to Carly earlier today, and I want to say this before I get on her bad side. Carly, the Vix Queen of the Kingdom, she's hosting a ladies' night. Um, I guess just chill zone, where she's gonna open up her mind and she's gonna be able to um, share some of her knowledge and expertise in the stock market with other women that's in the stock market. I really don't look at this thing as a male or female thing, but I do agree, and I say that women traders are very very undervalued in the trading space, and a lot of people can agree. So she's doing something in order to change the dynamics of female traders, or help change. And she's gonna be hosting a ladies' night. Hopefully one of many, just women only. And she's gonna be sharing her knowledge, and she has a ton of good knowledge, ton of good knowledge. Gio say he's gonna try to blend in. So I wanted to shout that out. It's gonna be Tuesday. I think Tuesday at 9, or tomorrow. I have to
It's
go back to
Monday.
Monday.
I want to say
Tomorrow.
Monday. I think it's Monday. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
tomorrow night she's gonna be hosting a women's only. I'm actually gonna be creating her a private um, stream room. So if just women only, because she says she don't want no men in there. Even Geo, a 6'2". But yeah, she's gonna be opening up a whole new side of trading. And if you're watching this and you're a woman, we have somebody that represents a cause for you guys too. So shout out to Carly. Um, any good stocks that we're looking at? I've been looking at a lot of cheaper stocks, something post IPO, and that's reaching some good levels. Um, I'll share some of mine, but first I want to know. I think Fish mentioned one a little bit ago. Which one were you looking at? I think it was
Um,
SLDP.
That's correct, sir. Yeah, SLDP. So, someone in I mean, if you don't come into live trading, because if your job is too demanding, whatever, I get that, totally understand that. But if you do have the time to step into live trading during the week, come on in, because there's some gems that are thrown around in there. And one day somebody threw around SLDP. I started looking into it. I liked what I saw. So I manage an account for my dad, and that's what I call the safe account. And so I threw this into his account,
Oh
and it
wow.
was just sort of grinding up, grinding up, grinding up. And I didn't really notice until the other day. And I was like, oh my God, since 6/11 when I bought in, he's up 160%.
Okay.
So I need to go ahead and get into this right now. It's EV batteries, and we
Solid,
all know the
solid
wave of the
power.
future. Yeah,
It's right here
we
at
all know
$5. Okay.
that's
Okay.
it. That's it. And I got him in just under $2 and didn't even realize. it,
Oh
You
wow.
know, I think it was just under $2. I can bring it up.
Yeah, yeah, because
All right.
it consolidated a lot here at a dollar. Between a dollar and 2.15, it consolidated for a good time. Like this is the 2023 price range, below that $2 range, and now it's sitting at
Mhm.
$5. So okay,
Yeah, I'm
Swing's
thinking
looking at the
this.
warrants.
I'm thinking Swing loves the warrants. She was trying to explain this to me. I gotta learn from her. Yeah, where is it? Yeah, I got him in a $1.94 on
Okay.
June 11th. So, I mean, it looks like this is becoming the time. And when I look at the charts, I just love the formations that I see.
Yeah, it looks
I
good
really,
coming off
really
of
do.
it's coming off of a good quarter. And it's is up just about, twice as much going into this new quarter. So I think it's a solid look as of right now. And it can go as high as back up to 1485, which it'll retest these IPO highs, and that'd be a nice return. I think Gio just said he got in at what, 75 cents.
Oh, he had it at 75 cents. Wow.
Sheesh.
So Fish, let me ask you this, because I'm not really,
Humble
because you
brag.
said this is an EV battery play, right? So you looked into a lot. So what is your like? What have you learned about this company? Like, did you do a lot? Like, how much diligence did you go into it? Because I'm curious to know, like, because I feel there's a lot of like companies that are like, trying to push into like EV batteries, stuff like that. Like, what makes them kind of stand out more? Did you see anything that you noticed that was really, really, you know, like that puts them above the rest, or is it just a momentum play? Like, what do you really see about them? I'm curious.
I was going to say, you're not going to like what you hear, but I'm a momentum. Hey, I'm honest, right? I'm honest. I'm
Yeah,
a
yeah.
momentum trader. That's what
Okay.
I do. That's what I love. I love trading momentum. And, I see momentum here. I also see a company that's having momentum as we're getting into this new age of everything is going to be EV and EVTOLs, right?
Mhm.
And of course, everyone, you don't even have to pick the guy who's going to be the biggest player. If you can pick the guy that's going to be the seventh biggest player, you're
Mhm.
still going to get in at a great price now, and you're going to have a great return. Is the way that
Okay.
I'm looking at things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%. And my other question would be, because now we're talking about like with this administration, we know they kind of try to stay away from like the EV, aspect of things and everything else. Do you think it's going to have any kind of negative push on this stock short term because of
No,
that?
I don't, and here's why. Because we get sort of, and I don't mean to be rude by saying this, right? Because I am guilty of this 100% of the time. But we get so like like a horse with its blinders on, and we just sort of
Mhm.
think one way, right? We hear EV, and we just think EV cars, right? But what
Right.
about drones and the you've got the companies like Joby and ACHR that are going to be doing the EVTOLs, the flying air taxis and stuff like that, right?
Right. Yeah.
There's a lot more applications than just cars. And the other fact is just because the administration says that they're not going to give out credits for electric vehicles anymore, that doesn't mean that people aren't buying them. I mean, my friends are still buying EVs,
Right.
because they believe in doing what's right, what they believe is right, excuse me, for the climate, and
Yeah.
to them, I'm not saying this is right for anyone, but to them, that means buying an electric vehicle,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah, no,
So
yeah,
no,
I get it. I'm with it. I mean, 'cause I was just thinking of like, it just brings back to the flashback of like End Phase and like those like energy plays when they came out with the big beautiful bill and they were going to cut back on like the renewable energy and stuff like that. And End Phase and those companies dropped like 20% in like a day or two, right? So I wasn't sure if it would be like maybe like could there be some sort of news that come out from this administration that could just like potentially push the stock just back down to where it was at beforehand. But I get it, man. I 100%, I agree with your thesis on that one. People are still going to be buying, I see Teslas like all the time now. People are going to those renewable energies and those cleaner ones. It saves them money long term, like solar saves people, a lot of money long term, usually with the electric bills and stuff. So I get it. I'm totally on board with that.
so this battery also this you'll like, all right. This you'll like. It replaces the liquid or gel polymer electrolytes used in the conventional lithium ion batteries. So
Oh.
it'll make your conventional lithium ion batteries that just blow up for no reason
Yeah.
makes them a little safer. Also, this is a U.S. company.
Oh, that's a good
And
play
remember,
then.
that's another
Yeah.
thing that I liked about it,
Yeah.
because when I went into it for my dad, which I said is the safe account, remember, when I went in, it was tariff, and I needed to make sure I was going into American companies.
Right. Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. I get that. I mean, because that's the thing where it's like there's all these companies out there that are trying to like push into like different types of batteries and stuff like that. So looking for that like thing that makes them stand out is what will really help the momentum keep pushing further because they're the first of this kind of company who's pushing batteries out that's doing that to replace the lithium in batteries to make them more safer. I think that's because everyone always complains. Like my mom, for example, I asked her because she wants to get a new car, and she was like, I was like, why don't you get an electric car? And she was like, no, I don't want to get that. I see cars blow up on like the news and stuff like that from the batteries. And I'm like, okay. But I was like, look at all the data points that probably go against your thesis for that one, right? Like, even if 1,000 cars, have that explosion, you have millions and millions that aren't. Like, it's like a 1%, rate of explosion or whatever it is. So I think that would definitely, push them up into the next, and maybe some big companies like Tesla might, partner with them and adapt their technology. Maybe, it could be a good play, I think.
I mean, it could also be a buyout.
Yeah, buyout for a premium.
Yeah,
pay a lot higher for it. Yeah, 100%. I get that.
So,
I love that.
Yeah, that's one that I like, and then another one that's one that I like that's like a hidden gem, and then one that I like that everybody's in, but I was in it, I got out of it stupidly, and I'm gonna get back in it for a little bit of a long run. I think like probably at least a year. Is Ondas, ONDS, just with all of the defense stuff that's going on, and we know that drones are really taking off and more applications than we were thinking. I just really think that they are a good company to invest in now. They've gone up, I think it was 436% in a year. And they've absolutely blown price targets out of the water. I mean, they had a.
I was gonna say, it looked like I already had this charted from a prior time, and it broke out of that trend and took off from there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, it was.
I think they've got a DoD contract somewhat recently. I could be mistaken on that.
Oh,
But yeah, I just really like the way this looks.
And what's
shit.
really nice about that kind of company is that like they also, I know they did a share dilution, I think, recently as well, but
Yes.
it's kind of like a similar play to like SoFi, where SoFi had their earnings, they were killer earnings, it pumped up, and they did a share dilution. People were like, what the heck? And it's like, no, like share dilutions actually can be good for companies because it allows them to raise more funds and get more shares out there for people to buy into. So it could also be a play for getting more, getting more of an equity stake in the company, like getting more money towards it, and more fundraising towards it to then expand even more. So everyone always sees like the share dilutions. It's like, oh, it's a bad sign, and depending on the situation, sometimes it's good because maybe ONDS really wants to keep expanding it and they want to raise more money for it, so they do share dilutions. Yes, you lose value in your share, obviously, for that kind of reason, but long term, it could be very beneficial for the company.
Yeah, I'm looking at ONDS charts right now. It looked like it like below $1 was still for since 2023. So it pretty much consolidated between 90 cents
Mm-hmm.
and 49 cents for pretty much almost 2 years.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And it's
And
finally,
then
after the accumulation, it's been taken off. It had a little resistance here at 313 to 315. Again at 395, and then the last time it topped out right here at 436, 438. So we'll consider the 450 range right now resistance, but if it continues to build support, I mean, I got levels all the way up to, I want to say to where the recent highs, which was up here around like 16, 17. So, I mean, if you bought in at these accumulation levels for what, 2 years now, I mean, you pretty much tick the bottom of this chart right here.
So another reason why I'm really bullish on this is if you look at this chart here, you can see that I got a little bit of a spike in November when Trump won the election. And then as we started having a run up to the inauguration, it was going up. Then it went back down. But as we started, if you follow the timeline of the chart, as we started talking more and more about defense, is when this really started having its breakout.
It's crazy, and I've been looking at a few aero fence and defense stocks too.
So
Yeah, I mean, it's probably why. I mean, obviously, like Palantir's had that crazy run up the whole year. Talking about defense. You have Palantir running up you'll see those companies run up for it. I think drones is really, really cool. I've watched a lot of like documentaries and like, like shows that are research, development based, and these things do some insane stuff that like we could not even do for years. It's not even just defense purposes, but just drones in general. Like they do some crazy things. They can gather data like that, like in a split second. They can scan like a huge amount of space in a short amount of time. They can scan it. They can give you all the data you need to, and they're a lot probably cheaper to make because they're smaller compared to like making a huge plane or something like that. So I think drones are really, really cool. I
And
must say.
did you guys see the post earlier where I posted about Arrow, AIRO?
Mhm.
Isn't that like
Yeah,
a
I
Yes.
saw it.
Yes.
isn't that like a
It's a
drone
trauma
company
stock.
too?
I think so, man. That's a
Yeah.
trauma stock for me. I can't go into it.
Is Arrow is a trauma
Didn't they
stock?
IPO not too long?
Yeah, man. When
Yeah.
they IPO'd, man, oh, that was a trauma stock for me, man. No way.
I had looked at let's see,
Yeah, they
Arrow.
do drones and defense and all that. They do
Uh, K-
training. There's a training segment that provides military pilot training. Interesting.
Swing just mentioned
Inside NATO countries. Huh.
Yeah,
KTOS, and that is one that I've had on a what I call a Trump stock list.
a Trump stock list.
Yeah, so
Holy
like
crap.
when it looked like Trump was going to be elected, started working with some people and putting together what we called a Trump stock list, what we figured the best stocks were to go into for a Trump administration. A lot of it included immigration stuff, a lot of it included detention stuff, a lot of it included defense stuff. And then, some of them didn't work out, some of them have gone up, but it was interesting to see. And then I just sort of forgot about them.
I think this stock, Arrow. I guess since we were on the subject of that coming off the ONDS and stuff, Arrow looks like it's in a pretty good zone as of right now. If it drops below this $20 range, I think it'll be a steal. IPO lows are around $12 to $13, and then IPO highs are around like 38, 39 ish. So right now it's kind of dead center around the middle 20s, 24 to 20. I'm looking at starting a position on this the closer that we can get to this 2035 level, and then I'll load the boat appropriately at 15 and $16 if we see a dip. But I think this could be decent for long term, or at least I'm gonna give it a chance to. But it looked like it can go as high as I got highs around like 51.65. So I don't know if you guys have paid too much attention. I think you said this is a trauma stock for you, Fish.
Yeah, it's a trauma stock for me, man. But if you're talking about going that high, I may be able to deal with the PTSD.
I think right now it'd be a decent spot to start looking for long term, because I don't see
All
it
right.
just breaking down anymore. I'm not saying it's gonna be like the next Palantir or anything, but um, it has a good risk to reward in my personal opinion as of now. As you all know, things change in the stock market. So if something changes, then I'll give y'all my reason for why it's changing. But
Yeah.
um,
So, I have a question for you, Royalty.
uh-huh.
So, very short amount of data here on a chart. What makes you think that it based like there's so little you could look here at pattern wise? So, like, what are you seeing? I just because for me, I like see a stock that IPO'd, jumped, dropped, and is running sideways.
Yeah, that's my thing. The sideways is a good indication for me because it hasn't broken the lows yet here. Until these lows below $12 are taken out, then I don't have a reason to think, all right, it's more downside coming. You have to play what's in front of you before looking at the worst case scenario. You get what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So
Yeah.
right now, I can see the lows at 13. I can see the highs right now are at 38. We're sitting pretty much in the middle right here between 24 and 20. So that's why I say if it goes below 20, even if it drops, I don't think it's going to go to zero. But I have my fan levels locked in, these blue lines. and those are my
Gotcha.
controlled buying levels. So for
I
anybody
forgot you had
that's
the fans.
yeah, anybody that's new to me know that I like the GAN levels just because they're pretty stationary, concrete, and even if it drops, I have a visual of where I take my next load up at because these levels normally are gonna retest regardless. It just takes time. So that's a good question though, Perunga.
Thank you.
Think I like it though. I think Fridge was telling me about the Leafs that he's gonna be doing something. That's gonna be
Yep.
a big move
What
for
I'm
you.
about?
The Leaf
Oh, for
contracts.
leads, yeah, I have a couple, like definitely under the radar. Like you will not probably see on like either after hours or probably Wall Street bets. But thinking about where our economy potentially is going, I mean, I have three plays I'm looking at that might be really, really good plays potentially. The first one is I like Stanley. Believe it or not, I like Stanley Toolworks (SWK), Stanley Black and Decker. The reason here's my logic behind Stanley Black and Decker. First of all, their all-time high was like $200. It's down like $70 something right now. So, you know, don't know how well
What?
if you come back to the all-time highs here, but they're the ones that manufacture Black and Deckers, DeWalt, like major tools and stuff like that. The way I look at it though is that they are a dividend king, right? They've been growing their dividend for over 50 years, like not like growing it for like 2 years. They've been growing it for over 50 years. And the way I'm picking it is because if we get rate cuts, and our economy does have this kind of slowdown turnaround period, people tend to flood to dividend companies in a market downturn. That's always the case because it's safer, it's less risk. They move out of growth stocks, they move into those dividend companies that might be a little bit better as a result of it. From what I always watch, you always see those dividend companies like when we had the April, tariff, destruction that happened. Johnson,
Dividend stocks was
Johnson,
booming.
yeah, yeah, Johnson did very well. Procter and Gamble did really, really well there. So people flood to those dividend companies only because, again, it's fear, right? If our market turns down, money for growth companies is getting more risky, so they move out of it and they go to dividend companies potentially. So for me, I'm thinking that Stanley Black and Decker could be a potential play because obviously it's down in like the 70s right now. And I'm not thinking, the next 6 months, maybe a year and a half out potentially as a lead play. I think has some decent potential for it. They do have some financial problems in terms of like debts and tariffs and stuff like that still. So I'm not gonna say that there's not like no risk. There is a risk here, but as I look at them, like I just feel like the money would flow over to dividend paying companies, and to them, they're one of them. And if they've grown it for that many years, they've been able to sustain through all the hardships. Growing it for 56 years, that means they went through the dot-com bubble, they went through the 2008 financial crisis, the housing markets, they went through COVID, and they still continue to grow their dividends. Like that to me is a play. And right now, again, people are in those growth plays. We're at all-time highs for markets, right? We have Nvidia pushing all-time highs. You have Apple going up to basically closer to all-time highs again. These companies are pushing those higher valuations. At what point does the market kind of have this kind of reflection? And when it does, dividend usually does pretty well, in my opinion. That's the way I look at it. You'll never see it talked about on any forums, potentially. But, also, if you think about this, rate cuts could mean that, it makes housing, maybe start being more affordable and more housing developments get created. In order to build houses, you need power tools. Simple as that, right? You can't just build a house without power tools, for example. So, there could be still some more demand for their power tools as a result when we start getting rate cuts, and who knows, maybe in September, in like a month or so, maybe in a couple months we get rate cuts, but rate cuts could be beneficial for Stanley Black & Decker, and since their debt is pretty high, a rate cut is good for them to pay down their debts because obviously they can borrow at cheaper rates. So that's kind of what my logic is. I don't know if that makes any logical sense. That's kind of where my focus went to for this kind of company, and also they are headquartered in my state, so they are a local favorite of mine. So I don't know if you guys have any insight on that one or not. If that logic makes sense, I'm not really sure, but that's kind of what I'm looking at for my first play.
If I just look at SWK and like while you've been talking, I just kind of been just charting it out.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Bro, this shit been getting punished
Yeah,
for a year
it's been getting
straight.
punished, and Yeah, well, because I think what's been going on is that, like, they've had lower revenues and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But you're looking at the end of 2021, 2022. What was really happening was rate hikes, right? We had that high inflationary value. We had like peak inflation 2022, and as a result of having peak inflation 2022, obviously it's people probably aren't. It's not a housing market to buy into because
Right.
obviously you're getting a higher mortgage rate. So less houses are being built potentially, less houses being built, less tools being used. So absolutely has been getting slaughtered. So my hope is that there is there is some sort of turnaround there that we can actually get for it. And again, even though they've been getting slaughtered, the fact they haven't cut their dividend means that they're doing
I mean, that's a good
they're
thing.
managing their books,
Yeah,
right?
that's a
Like
good
they're not
thing.
cutting dividends like Intel did it, Walgreens did it. Walgreens is awful. Like so the fact they haven't cut their dividend, like I'm not saying it goes back up to maybe $200 a share, maybe
Right,
not.
right.
But if you buy a leap option now and it goes back up to that previous swing high of like 100 and like whatever that is, $110 or whatever that swing high is, I mean that's not even that bad.
I mean,
So
I
that's
see.
kind of that'd be some good money.
I mean, this meltdown that it's had for a year, that could be potential, like you said, if a good catalyst comes in that supports, this sector of the market, then if it gets back above
Mhm.
this 105 level, the same meltdown it had, I can see it eventually, melting back up to the upside too. So, I mean, like you
Yeah,
said, they're maintaining their dividend payout. It's not like they're decreasing it or suspending it or anything. They're actually,
right.
are they increasing it or are they just maintaining it?
They've been growing it for, I can tell you right now, they've been growing it for 56 years. The 5-year average growth rate, 3.51%. Their payout ratio is 72% only. Their dividend is 4.48% annually.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's not like one of those like, NVIDIA's 0.04% dividend. They're paying out 4.5% dividend per year. They have a payout ratio under 100% according to Seeking Alpha right now, which is, pretty spot on. So the fact that their dividend payout is under 100% means they still have some cash available, which is a good sign. You don't want it to be over 100%. So now it's like 72. So it's still pretty high, but they still have some money left over. And again, they're still growing at an average rate of 3.5% per year. So I mean, it's not like a tiny grow. 3.5% over a year is a pretty decent. It's like basically like imagining you're getting a raise of 3.5% on your dividend. So can't really argue that too much. So that's kind of what my logic was for the first one that I was looking at.
So
I see why you're a teacher.
Yeah, right.
um, I have some insight into the chart and why it acted the way that it did.
Hmm.
All right, let's hear it,
Um,
Fish.
so for 8 years, I was in the construction field, residential construction, and
Mhm.
everything was great. Started in 2015 or around then, whatever. Um, right at excuse me, right at the peak here where you get to 227, right? And in between 2021 and 2022, that's at the end of the year. So to me, that
Mhm.
says like some profit taking and stuff like that. Then you get into January of 22. January of 22 is really when developers stopped building. Developers usually have their forecast and they build based on their forecast, not based on the current market.
Mhm.
Um, and so that's when all of the newer forecasting started hitting. And so a lot of developers had to cut their projects. And so if developers are cutting projects, it's like what Fridge was saying earlier. Excuse me. It takes tools to build.
Right.
And if you're not building, then you're not buying tools. So that's what I attribute that massive decline for, right?
Mhm.
Now we're starting to get some hope back in the economy. So I see some green bars, you know?
Yeah.
I,
If you look at the
I kind of like
if you
what
look
I'm
at the
seeing here.
earnings, the earnings aren't
Okay.
pretty bad either, right? Right, royalty. Sorry, Fish. You can keep going. I gotta see the earnings.
Just really quickly, I was just say I like what I'm seeing here, especially if we are getting to rate cuts. If we
Right.
are getting to a guy that's handpicked by the administration, mortgage rates are going to drop. It's going to cost large developers significantly less to build large developments or office buildings. I think this is a yeah. I'm with you on a good time to buy.
That's what's up.
Like,
If you look at the earnings, I think their earnings are crazy last like
So
8
it was
quarters or
good.
whatever it is.
It looked like they were red on the revenue.
Oh yeah,
Well, just
yeah.
about a
They've
little
been hitting
bit.
that. They've been hitting that for a while. Yeah. So I mean, they're honestly on my list of leaps. Like they're my riskier one I have. Honestly, I'll tell you the other two, and the other two are also revolving around rate cuts as well. Because I think we're trying to really price in these rate cut ideas in September and getting rates lower and the housing market and stuff like that. So my next one is Toll Brothers. TOL is ticker symbol. They're a luxury real estate building company, and they also do a lot of financing themselves. So you don't have to go through a different broker for them. They also do their own financing as well. These guys are multiplying so fast
I like the chart.
overall. Yeah, they're multiplying so quick in my area. Like I drive down the street and they're building a new residential property. I drive, an hour down the road, there's no one being built up. They're popping up everywhere. And the fact that again, like they're building like a new 55 plus community in my area, and there's like they sold out. Like they're like $1 million townhouses. They're selling out like left, right, and center. They know how to market to the time period that we're in. 55 plus communities, people can buy into more because they have more money right now, obviously, so they can buy these houses at these higher rates. If we have rate cuts, it can make housing a little bit more affordable potentially for them overall. And again, that's why I went in with these guys right here. Their PE is like a 9, maybe a 10, I think, which is like super undervalued. They have earnings on Tuesday, so I'm not going to get into anything just yet because I want to see how they do with their earnings report. But these guys have been knocking it out of the park. And like I watch and I see what they build. They built like a whole complex behind where I live in like a couple months. They leveled it, they built up, and they mass produce. Like they do cookie cutter, mass produce, and they're $1 million plus townhouses that they build out. Like it's nothing. And people, they sell out like it's no tomorrow. And every like other day, I look into into their news articles, and it's like new property built here, new property approved over here, and it's like starting to grow countrywide. And it's luxury real estate, And so if we get rate cuts, who's going to benefit? People who build houses, just like Stanley Works is the one who needs the tools to build houses. Being able to build houses at cheaper interest rates, obviously more beneficial for them. So Toll Brothers is one of the ones I like as a really good play as well. And I think they're super undervalued still overall. And they, their all-time high was like 160 something, I believe, in the 160s. So, you're looking at still a $30 upswing potential. And if earnings come in, even if earnings are good and it sells off, I'll take it. I'll buy a leap option after that and hope for the best. But these guys, I see a lot of potential. And I called them out like when I first moved here a couple years ago on like another Discord I was a part of. And they were like $76. And now they're back at 130. So I'm kind of pissed off about it. But
I like them.
Yeah, they just
Just
and they yeah, go ahead.
No, I don't want to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was gonna say like they're just like they're again like I'm looking at them from a fundamental perspective. Like I walk down the street and I see these houses being built like it's nothing. It's not even like there's no charting, there's no like anything crazy. It's just simple. Look what's around me and look what's growing, and these guys are growing like it's insane.
So Toll Brothers. So I was a luxury residential builder, and I used to go to the conventions every year, and either in Vegas or Orlando, and I talk with the guys from Toll Brothers actually, and these guys specifically. One of the things that makes them so profitable is because they are such a large buying power, since they're a national brand. They go in and they actually make their own prices with their vendors. The vendor says it's going to be $100.99 for X part, and they're like, no way, we're going to pay you $89.97. Take it or leave it. We're guaranteeing you 1 million units. And they're like, oh, yeah, okay, $89.97 sounds great. And so that's one way that Toll Brothers is able to keep their costs down. And like I said, they are one of or like you said, they're all luxury. They're one of the larger national brands. I'm with you, Fridge.
Yeah, and I will say also, on top of it, like again, like they started building these up here, and I went on Zillow to be like, oh, what are they selling them at? And I would click on the properties, and it's like $1 million here, 1.1 here. I'm like, who's buying this crap right now? And with the rates being 6.3% for mortgages, like I was like, who's buying this crap? Sure enough, I see, I see a bunch of, like Lincolns driving over to them. I see, Genesis, like luxury cars, like luxury car, models of, common cars like Genesis. Like I'm seeing some fancy cars going over here to this open house and they're sold. And I was like, that's insane, right? Like the fact that you're able to sell these kind of properties, you mass produce them so quickly and you're able to sell them also in this kind of market where rates aren't good. Like, dude, imagine when rates come down. Oh my God, man! You're gonna get bidding wars probably for these, and they're gonna be making some money. And again, like you could finance through them also. I'm almost certain. So like they also can make some money on that as well. It's not just through somebody else; they can get it through them. And I think it's phenomenal. So that was my second kind of play. Again, my plays for my leads right now are banking on interest rate cuts. I think Toll Brothers would be beneficial for it for sure. I really hope they have good earnings. They still sell off. I really wouldn't care. Because I can get in for a cheaper price on a leap option. I think Stanley has potential. The last one, and I'll be done here for you guys, is Otis Elevators. OTIS is the last one I'm looking at as a company. They are a local. They are headquartered also in my state, so I know them. Also, believe it or not, when I went to high school, I went to a tech school. And we usually partnered, and we would have people who worked in manufacturing who would go work over at Otis Elevators. And they're now they're now worldwide. They have deals over in China and over in Europe and stuff like that. So they're not just a U.S. only company. But what I like about them as an interest rate cut play is, again, when rates come lower, people start developing more and more, right? They're building more because it's cheaper to borrow. And if you're building these luxury properties, these luxury buildings, these things need multiple floors, what do you need to go up and down? A stupid elevator. So you need those elevators to do it. They do escalators as well, so they market in that kind of aspect of things. And, they're not like an expensive, like growth value play. They're a stable company. But they do a pretty good job, and they also pay a dividend as well, which is pretty good. Their PE isn't too crazy, which is nice. But we get rate cuts coming in. These guys could benefit from it still because you get more new developments being built over in Europe, over in Asia, even back over here. And these guys are the ones that are manufacturing the elevators, the escalators, you name it, they're making it to make it go up and down these floors. And we've seen like New York, for example, like New York just builds taller and taller skyscrapers every couple of years for whatever reason. We had Billionaires Row that was built, years ago. People keep building up. You can't build out. You got to build up. You have no space left to build out. You build up. What do? You go higher. If you go higher, you need elevators, escalators, those kind of things. So I think Otis could be a good play long term also in terms of interest rate cuts, especially, in my opinion. So again, that's my last kind of call. If anybody has any kind of thoughts on that one, feel free to shoot me some ideas. But
I mean, I don't know
I'm all
much
about rate
about
cuts,
that.
it looks like, for these leap options here. Let me tell you.
I
So,
don't know
I
much.
got-
Oh, go ahead, Fish. I'm gonna finish
I
charting
was
while you
saying,
talk.
I feel like I'm talking too much about it, but I'm agreeing with all of your plays and trying to give some additional information here. As far as I know, Otis Elevators are either the number 1 or the number 2 elevators in the world. As far as sales are concerned. So it's not like you're buying into like the number 5 or the number 6. You're going into either the number 1 or the number 2. Next time you step into an elevator, take a look at the floor by the doors. Chances are it's going to say Otis if it's in a decent building.
Yeah, look at the if you look at the certification requirements, because you have to renew them, get them up to code and stuff like that. They always will have a little like the little brand next to it, and usually it's Otis Elevators. Usually it's also like, because I think like on the slip to make sure it's like up to code and stuff like that. You have to get it like looked at every couple of years. I'm pretty sure it tells you the manufacturer of the elevator also on there, so you can take a look at that and you'll see that it's Otis Elevator. Most likely, like 99 out of 100 times, it's probably Otis Elevator because they're a top quality product. And again, I'm not looking at it from, a like technical analysis perspective, but just again, like when I was in high school, like however many years ago it was at this point, we had kids that would be working through manufacturing. They would go out of high school, go work for Otis Elevator, and they would manufacture these elevators. Like, they've been around for many, many years. They just recently went public though, which is the difference, which is what you'll see in the chart that Royalty's showing, that they went public in like 2019 or 2020, but they've been around since I graduated high school in 2013. And we had people going to go work for them in 2013. So they've been around for many, many years. They're not like a brand new company. They're a really, really good company that's been around for years. But like you said, they're one of the most well-known elevator companies in the world. And, you know, you got people who are building these luxury, everybody wants to build bigger and build better and be the best of the best. If you want to build higher, you got to put a stupid elevator in there to get them up to that high level. Like, you know, why not? So I think, again, if we get rate cuts coming down, I think this is a pretty good play, I feel like, overall.
I like it. I think it looks like it just IPO'd 2020.
2020?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think this is
That's the worst time to do it. That's like COVID.
yeah.
It IPO'd like during the pandemic.
So I
Which
but
is
I
nuts.
like this. This is like you said. This is something. It has a decent range. Look like we might be getting some discount prices soon. We want to see if we break out this $90 between $90s and $63 range. But if we
Mhm.
don't, because it just had a gap down here, probably this past earnings maybe. Let me see. Yeah, so it gapped down post
Yeah.
earnings.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
and the earnings weren't that bad. I think it's just like right now when you're looking at everybody's looking at earnings and stuff right now is that you make one little miss and it could derail the whole stock for the day. You know, so you could beat and then have like a small miss, and even that it kind of sucks. You know, so
but I like
it is what
this.
it is.
Um, I think if it goes back below this $63 range, I think that we load the boat on this because it, like you said, it already has $107 potential um, high. So
Mhm.
that's a good target to look for going forward. But I'm gonna chart this some more and see if we can really dive into the levels and really break it down. But right now, I'm liking it below $90 because when we
Yeah.
last saw this, this was back 2021 summer 2021 all the way up to
Mhm.
2023 when we finally broke out of it. So it's just not retesting these these $100 levels here. So once it sees that it
Yeah.
can hold these, I think that we'll be pushing back up to the upside pretty soon.
Yeah, and and again, like yeah, 100%. Technical spot looks awesome as well. Your charts are amazing as always, Realty. But just thinking, rate cut potentials, you're gonna get a lot of building coming in. You get those rate cuts, people are gonna get excited to start building up some more properties, refinancing, whatever. And people are building. You need elevators for those big mansions and all that kind of stuff. So that's why it's like long term, like a leap option, like a year, 2 years out. I think there's some pretty good potential for this company.
Okay. We gonna
What's
break
the
that down some more.
liquidity look like in all of these?
What's up, Brunga?
I was going to say, what does the liquidity look like in all three of those?
So that's the only problem with leap options for Otis. Otis has a very limited options chain until like the far as you can go right now is March of 2026. So obviously you can't do a super far leap option with them. The other ones you can. Stanley you can. Toll Brothers you can go way far out. Otis you cannot. But I guess the worst case scenario is that what you could do is that when they release the next options chain for whatever comes out next form, you can always just roll it out farther if you really want to. That's the only like restriction I hate about Otis, that they only can go till March.
Okay.
So yeah, that's one thing to keep in mind. I'm glad you brought that up. That's the one downside of Otis is the options chain restriction till March of next year. But still, I mean, you can get a decent in the money option for probably like $1,000 or so, I think, if I look at the
Bro.
options chain. But
Bro, I'm in and out of
Not bad.
elevators all day, and I never thought to be like, man, I wonder who made this shit. You know? I,
Man,
but now
so
when I go to when I go to work, I'm gonna just be like riding the elevator. I'm just gonna be looking around like I need to find this is this the oldest elevator or not.
see, man, like in all seriousness, that's like one thing that I do. I look around and just in my everyday life, what brands are being used? Like, what are people
Mhm.
using? What are businesses using? Like, what's the infrastructure? Like, because everything goes into it, and it's all stuff that we probably won't think about. You know what I mean? But like, I have no problem stopping somebody on the street and be like, "Hey, man, I like your shoes. What brand is that? I've never seen that before."
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
You know?
That's why I love that's why I love going back to school, because the students tell me what the trends are. I know what the trends are real quick, and I can figure that out and kind of be like, oh, what's in, what's out. That's why like I did a leap option on Snapchat. Why? Because all my students, every single time last year, so many students were using Snapchat, even though it's down at $7 a share and it's had problems with their financials and stuff like that. Like my students are using it all the time. They're messaging each other all the time. There's like 8 different group chats. Like people are using Snapchat no matter what. Same thing with like Crocs. Like Crocs has had a really good job overall in the market
Man,
as
Crocs
of
has been
recently
dope.
because all my students wear Crocs. All my students drink Celsius.
I got
all my
some
students
Crocs
use
on right
Snapchat.
now.
Yeah, so you know, like that's the one that's kind of nice about going back to school. Like I could see what students are setting the trends with because usually they know the trends more than it goes mainstream. They are in the know more than we are. And I don't know how that's the case, but they just are because they're so much on social media. They know what's coming out. You know, when TikTok was about to get banned, they already knew what the next app was going to be to replace
Their
it.
life was fading.
They knew what it was.
It's fading before them.
Say again?
I say your students, their life was just starting to fade before them.
Yeah.
For real.
I need to sit there like first day and be like, guys, what is in right now? And if I make $1,000, everybody gets an A in the class for the week or some shit like that.
Fucking do it, man.
Nice.
No,
With some
seriously. Seriously, like the kids know what it is, man. They really do. Another thing I did, man. So like I mean, I haven't been going as much lately, but I need to get back. But like when I was going to the gym, like 4 or 5 days a week, I started noticing that Lululemon was shifting out, and a brand called Allo, ALLO, was shifting in. And so one day I just straight up started asking this girl about them, and she was like, "Oh yeah, all my friends are doing it." So I started paying attention. Everyone's wearing these, so of course I go online, and no, Allo is not available to be publicly traded. Just like Vuori, VUORI, a clothing company, extremely popular. Both are luxury brands, not available to be traded publicly yet.
Hey,
Wearing
But it's
Vuori
like
shorts right now, man.
What's that?
Said wearing Vuori shorts right now.
Exactly. Exactly.
So you know what's another stock's like trending is Labubu. Labubu has a stock. I don't
What
know
is
if you guys knew
that?
that or not.
Oh,
Labubu is
Labubu
it's like the modern day Cabbage Patch Kids Purunga or something like that. I don't know.
I don't even know what they are. I just know there's some ugly ass dolls. That's all I know.
So there's some ugly ass dolls, but they are trending for a reason because you can get like rare ones, stuff like that. It's almost like case openings, and so the company they're traded under is Pop Mart.
No, I just want to see what they look like.
Oh, Labubu, Labubu.
L what?
Labubu, Labubu. But they're under they're traded under Pop Mart is the ticker symbol for it. I think they've done pretty well recently because of the Labubu craze that's been going on right now.
Oh, this crazy. I haven't seen these yet, but it look crazy.
Oh, dude, they're everywhere, dude. Yeah, so there's a Pop Mart. I don't know what the stock is for it. Let me see if I can get a ticker symbol for you. It's over the counter, Pop Mart International Group ADR. So, good lord, I don't even know. Dang, they're up 189% year to date. Oh, I hate this so much. That's so stupid. They're up 189% year to date.
What's the ticker?
Craze. It's PMRTY. PMRTY, yeah. It's like an over the counter one. PMRTY.
Oh,
there you go. Walmart International right there. Yep.
Oh, wow.
Look at this.
Very low volume, but it just popped from what, $10, $11 to $34?
Yeah, it's up, like I said, up 189% year to date.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you now.
Yeah, dude, we hear you.
All right. Sorry. All right. I lost power. I knew it was going to happen. We're having a bad thunderstorm here. So I had to switch devices.
Okay.
Yeah, so the volume is super small, but like even if you bought in, it's a small share price. I mean, dude,
But
you
like
made
you said,
109%.
it's a OTC, so
Yeah,
it trades completely different.
right. But it's those trends, man.
Mr. Galaxy says adult toys with gambling. I don't know the gambling side of this toy.
So you can, I do. I got, okay, here you go. Full disclosure, guys, I don't own any of these. I let you know right now. I watch a lot of videos and scroll and I see, dude, I don't, hey, I don't know.
Full disclaimer.
Full disclaimer, trust me, bro. It's based on trustmebro.com, okay? So relax.
All right.
So So apparently, what you can do with these is, I guess you can buy them like in like a box, but like you don't know what it's inside of. You don't know what kind.
it's
And
a
there's
mystery
different
box.
ones. It's like a mystery box
Gotcha.
apparently, and so like there's more ones that are rare. So it is gambling because you can buy it, and if you hit the rare one, you can resell it for some really good profit. But if you get a common
Gotcha.
one, it doesn't work as well. So I know
So
what
it's like,
I'm gonna find. Yeah, it's like I'm gonna find the rare. What are the rare ones? I'll find one. Okay.
it's like Pokemon and shit. You're just, I got to buy all those packs because I could have a Charizard or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
rare Labubus found in blind boxes have a low pull rate of 1 in 72 or 1 in 144.
Great odds.
Yeah, great odds. I mean, it's still better than better than the lottery, right?
Yeah.
That's true. I think it's, yeah, that's true.
Do you guys want to know the most expensive? So the most expensive Labubu, you want to know what it sold for?
How much?
This is from
$10,000.
August 2nd. Dang, Purunga, you definitely bought this one. It's 10,500. You definitely. I know you bought this Purunga because there's no way you hit 10,000 on that one.
Yeah.
So what
No,
are
I
these, like
guess,
the new
man.
Beanie
So-
Babies, essentially?
It's kind of like it's that and do you remember like Cabbage Patch Kids fish from like years ago? I don't remember those
The
ones.
Cabbage
like, when
Patch
those came out.
Kids.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a modern day of that, I believe. Beanie Babies, Cabbage Patch Kids, like that thing. So the most expensive one sold for 10,500 about 2 weeks ago.
Oh
That
my
was a
god.
lucky human who
Yeah.
sold it, not bought it. The person who bought it's fucked, but the person who sold it, good for them.
I bet Purunga bought it because he got the number almost in the head. I'm letting you know right now.
No,
But,
man, I was hoping I was wrong.
it sold for the original sale value was $85. The guy turned $85 into $10,000.
And
Oh
why-
my god.
Why are they selling so high?
But what
again?
we-
It's like collectibles. It's like rarities. It's like baseball cards, Pokemon cards, all that kind of stuff. It's the same thing, So
But they didn't tell us how many he had to buy to get that one. So
true, 100%. But the fact that I mean, it's so Pop Mart typically sells Labubus for $20 to $40 in blind boxes. So even better, you
Yeah.
get one in 20 to $40 into 10 Gs. That's
I
insane.
mean,
But
that's a nice hustle. I mean, don't let me get into it. I'm gonna figure it out some way or another.
But it's the same thing where it's like, like people love the get rich quick and the gambling side of things. DraftKings, FanDuel, football. I know you guys are all about FanDuel sports betting. Come back. People are all about gambling and hoping to hit big. And that's what happened. And Gio's 100% correct. Everybody's going to forget about this just like NFTs in about a year probably. And NFTs are going to be worthless if they already are. These will probably be worth absolutely nothing also. Very similar.
I bought a book for NFTs.
that'll be the next thing after that.
And everything, thinking I'm like, man, NFTs finna go crazy. I'm finna get in NFTs and getting Ethereum and all of that, man. It just NFT just went to shit pretty much.
Yeah, so Labubus are the hype right now. If you ever see anybody walk around with them, they're like those weird little dolls. They like took off. I think it's one of those things where they took off. I want to say the original creator died, and then they took off after that. Kind of like how art usually does that, where like artists usually like when they pass away,
Oh, right.
their art becomes a lot more valuable. I think it's along the same ideas of that, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. I'm not a Labubu expert. I know I sound like one right now, and I completely get why you think that. But I'm not an expert in them. I just know about what I'm not putting money into, and it's that stupid crap right there. But I've seen so many people on social media talk about them, so that's why I was like, oh, interesting. But yeah, it's I think it's one of those kind of things. But I think Gio's 100% right. They'll be forgotten in a year. Just like Cabbage Patch are forgotten nowadays, that kind of stuff.
Are they little vinyl figures? Like, I'm trying to look at these things. Are fucking gross looking. Anyways,
They're like,
are they
I think they're like
vinyl
stuffed
figures?
animals. I think they're like stuffed animals. I
Oh.
think
They
they're
look
like soft.
terrifying.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. They're 100% terrifying. But I think it's the I think the creator like died or something. Let me see. I don't know. I'll have to find it out. But my search history looks so weird right now. Good lord.
Boo-boos, 10 grand.
Oh no, he's an active artist. No, he
Otis.
didn't die. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Otis Elevators, Stanley Toolworks, Toll Brothers, Labubu, creator died. How much is the most expensive Labubu? My search history looks great. I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you right now. I'm gonna get some I'm gonna get some targeted marketing for Labubu's now. Watch.
I've been
It's
getting
gonna be annoying as ever.
well, I've been looking at this Lululemon since we brought them up, and they've been getting destroyed too.
Yeah, tariffs have hurt them bad. I'll tell you that much.
I remember when it was trading up around like $500 or so, and now they're trading below $200.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't think of it as like a bad one, also. But again, the problem is though is the tariffs is still like pushing these guys. Like, I think once the tariff news subsides and however long, could be a good rebound play potentially. But I don't know.
It's probably karma. If you create a name out of a racist thing, it's not a good sign for your company. I don't think.
They recently got I think they're
do you know why it's been named?
No,
Which
actually, I
one?
didn't know that. What is it, Peru?
Oh, it's hard. And Hannah said it. It's hard for Asians to pronounce. That is why he made the name.
That is so messed up. Yeah, I'm not buying this company
Yeah.
ever. that's so stupid.
Yeah. So
I want to say, was it Lululemon that got like a lawsuit, or was it with Costco or something like that? That they were like suing Costco, I think, for like knockoffs.
I heard
Lulu.
some
It
stuff
was
with that.
yeah, you said
Lulu-
it was Costco the other day or the week.
Yeah, Lulu and Costco, because they say it's pretty much the exact same thing.
Costco
And they
being
look similar.
Palmer too.
I bet say, let me tell you though, Costco's probably got a higher market cap. So who's winning?
Oh, yeah.
All I'm saying is-
if you want to compare sizes here, Costco versus Lululemon, who's bigger?
Fridge, all I'm saying is people aren't running into the Costco store and running out with $15,000 worth of clothes in their arms. You know
They
what
can't. They can't.
I mean? Right, but they can at Lulu. Trust me,
What?
it happens all the time around here.
Oh, does it?
Oh, dude, every Lululemon store in the DC metropolitan area has an off-duty police officer either inside or outside of it, because no matter which one you go to, they were getting hit like 2 or 3 times a week for like 10 to 15K worth of
Really?
clothing.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
that's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Costco's Costco's the better one, just because hey, they make it actually affordable. I don't think I ever hear people breaking into Costco or
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Like
I just pulled up Walmart. It was doing good for a little bit until it just got sniped again.
yeah, but Walmart,
Got earnings
people always
coming up.
people
Like
always
this week,
break into
right?
Walmart. Yeah, they have earnings this week.
They were
This was
doing
one I was
good.
thinking was Go ahead, sorry.
No. What you were saying?
I was saying good candidate. I was thinking, but I saw earnings, so I didn't do it. For it to maybe bounce back was what I was going to do short term. But, anyways, go ahead.
I was gonna say they're trying to get flushed again. This big gap down. I'm trying to remember what happened. Some news came out after their earnings.
I can't remember. It could be price hikes, maybe.
It wasn't price. It was something with their company. I don't remember if it was just guidance or I don't remember what happened. Something happened with this earnings call that gapped it down like this, and it's been suffering ever since.
Well, it could have been before April 1st, so it could have been tariffs, maybe discussion. Who knows? Like some sort of.
Gio said it was guidance.
It was guidance. It was something they said on the guidance call, and after that, it just tanked. And it just happened because it's been doing good for a long time. Walmart was one of those stocks that you could buy, and you can keep buying the dip, and it'll keep going up and up and up. We see it here.
Yeah.
And it was something with the guidance that they said that they didn't like, and after that, it just tanked. It finally came back up and retested those levels right here, and it didn't hold long. Like it came back and tested these post ER levels. It got up there for a few days, exhausted, and then it got back down again. So,
I believe they gapped down because like Amazon like announced like something about their pricing and something like that for like their grocery section, and like now it's like, is Walmart going to do the same thing, or they're going to keep it lower or something like that? Something to do with like their competition with Amazon, I believe, and that's kind of why it. Like Gio just said, so Amazon's pushing is delivering groceries, so that's
doing
probably
same-day
also
delivery,
why.
I think.
Yeah, that's why it came down, I think, also. So now it's a matter of when they're saying their earnings on, Wednesday or Thursday, what they're going to do as a result. Who knows?
Amazon is a straight corporate bully. Like as far as just dominating the sectors. Like they go into the streaming service, then they'll go into the delivery service, and then now they going in their healthcare. Next thing you know, they delivering groceries. Like he's infiltrating pretty much every sector of the market. Like, doesn't he have something to
Yeah.
compete with SpaceX? Or
Yes, his
Probably.
company is called Blue Origin.
yeah, Blue Origin. So I mean,
But so they're competing with SpaceX, but they also have brought civilians up to um, the lower space atmosphere, like the lower atmosphere, the
you
lower
mean
outer Earth
you
atmosphere,
mean
like
the
not
Blue
all the way
Origin?
out into space. Blue Origin has,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, they have.
Is
One
that
thing I want to remind everyone about Walmart real quick, coming up with earnings, is that there has been some back and forth from the C-suite of Walmart due to tariff talk, and they were originally saying that they were going to eat all of the tariffs, and then they've more recently been saying that they're going to have to split the tariffs with the consumer. So I think that's probably going to help them with their guidance if they do say they have to split it with the consumer, um, simply because most companies are passing it all onto the consumer. So if Walmart's eating some of the tariff, then that will probably make their prices at least competitive, if
Yeah.
not favorable. You know what I mean?
Okay. Interesting. I mean, yeah, it's gonna be interesting definitely to see how earnings is gonna affect it, especially with this second gap down right here. When it retested those last levels before it gapped down again. So it's gonna need to have some good guidance, good earnings, to reclaim these levels and break out of this, so we don't see it going back down to the mid $80 range. So
Well, yeah. If they gap down, I'll take advantage of it. That's all I'm saying.
yeah, yeah.
You're gonna have them rebound for sure. There's no way. Freaking Walmart.
Yeah. What else has been going on in the market? Bitcoin. Bitcoin. Fish, how you been feeling about Bitcoin?
Dude, I'm loving it. I'm loving
Yeah.
everything about it, man. Oh
You
yeah, it's beautiful. We've been just consolidating and liquidating, just preparing for the next leg up, man. You have to liquidate the shorts, and then the shorts try to liquidate longs. It consolidates, dips, people panic. I just sit here. My Bitcoin is my Bitcoin. I know Bitcoin goes one way eventually, and that's up.
and it's in
So when
the
it dips, I was just gonna say when it dips, buy more.
you didn't flinch last time it did. When it hit this 113 level, it was like, hey, buy more,
Yeah,
and it paid
I mean,
off.
look, it's just like with a regular stock that's being shorted. As long as the fundamentals haven't changed, then there's no reason for you to panic sell. That's how I look at it.
I agree. And I mean,
So
it's been on an absolute tear since the time it took off from the mid 80s, the mid 88,000 range, and it's been going ever since. So this could be a nice accumulation here until something changes. I mean, we keep looking for that 130 level.
I think we'll see 140, 150 sooner rather than later.
Really, I got
Yeah,
143
I
at the top
really.
still.
Okay. See,
So
there you go. I mean,
143.3.
there, you guys got to figure also like Bitcoin has changed a lot over the past couple of years, right? Because it used to be just this sort of like this thing that only crazy people were buying into, and then it started taking off, and okay, yeah, it's really running now. And then now, you've got companies like BlackRock investing, I don't even know how many billions of dollars into Bitcoin. You know, so my other philosophy on it is now we've got smart money involved, and we know smart money doesn't lose. So I mean, yes, there's always going to be a bag holder. That's with any stock or crypto, but I think now if you buy in, you still have plenty of room up.
You see, I got my ETH chart up for you.
Oh, let's talk.
Yeah,
So
it still looks prime for 5,400 if we can go back and retest these highs and break them.
So I bought a little bit more this weekend, man. I mean, I still don't have enough, and I just started my position, relatively uh, recently, just a couple months ago. But I'm up to zero point 0.5 Ethereum, which is nice for me. And as you can see by this chart, if I said I only bought it, started going in like 2 months ago, it's only been going up. So it's been hard for me to get a dip. So I'm just buying, man. I'm just buying. I've got a projection. I don't have a time frame, but I have a projection of $8,000 to $10,000 a coin. So I figure let's just buy, let's hold, and then I'll hold through crypto winter and buy those dips as well. And then on the next cycle, I'll just have even more. But that was another theory that I heard, is that we may not have any more crypto winners now that Wall Street and smart money are involved. I don't know how that'll play out. It's just something that I heard.
I think this if we see a pullback down to this 40, about 4,000 level, I think that'd be a good spot to look for a retest and about more, because it's tested these levels. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it broke on the fifth one. So we saw 4,000 level March of last year, June, July of last year. Well, no, May, June of last year, December of last year, and then we recently seen it in July of this year. So since then, it's broken beyond that, and right now it looks like it's holding this 44 and 4,300 level relatively well. So if we can continue to see this hold right here, you'll look for the breakout above these highs at 4,700, 4,800. And like I said, my first real resistance level was around 5,400.
That's beautiful.
So it's some nice returns. And just to think, earlier this year it was at $2,000, and now we're getting ready to push $5,000. So, I mean, that's definitely a good return for you.
This is the way that I'm looking at Ethereum. Do I think it's going to go like Bitcoin? Absolutely not. That's never going to happen, right? But do I think that I sort of missed the boat in getting in on Bitcoin? Yes, I do. Do I think I missed the boat on Ethereum? No, I don't. I think that I've got. Yeah, I think right. I mean, just TA wise, this right here shows that there's a good amount of room to go up. You can make a nice profit. Beyond the TA, we don't know what's going to happen. I mean, we see analysts that give price projections all the time. They get blown out of the water because of meme action.
Right.
So maybe Ethereum becomes a popular coin that people want to go ahead and get into, and I know it's got a lot of utility, so maybe that takes off. I mean, we just never know with crypto is the thing.
Okay. And one more thing while I touch on crypto, and I'm gonna look at a couple other tickets for that we want to watch going into this next week. I'm gonna look at MSTR. So I know, right? I know. MSTR has been kind of beating up this past week. Well, pretty much since July, looks like. It is approaching a nice little level of support right here. Lows around 360. So I think this is a pivotal level that it needs to hold. If it breaks below here, we could see this go back down and retest the 330 level. So as of right now, we still can look for this support to hold. We'll see how that plays going into this upcoming week. But just be careful. I'll say just be careful. because it's a possibility that it could fall even more. But I think it's on discounted below 380. So my next solid level of support for MSTR is around 315, 320. If I was buying shares, that'd be the next place I would probably throw some money at it on a ride back up towards the 400s. So I would be careful just because is that a good level of support, but depending on how the market holds up over these next few weeks going into another quarter, which we have one more month left until we go into a new quarter. So depending on how this closes, and if it drops any lower, it'll probably be a bearish quarter. Because opening prices right now for this quarter right here is at 396. It shot all the way up to that 457 level, but it got sent right back down, and now we're trading below that opening price. So the bears are in control as of right now for this quarter. Just want to be cautious. If you're somebody that kind of keeps tabs on MSTR, I would watch it by the quarter, and I would set a kind of I would set a line at the opening price. So once we get back above this 396 level, then you will know that the bulls are starting to take control, and and you can look for potentially some more upside.
All right.
So below 396, bears are in control. Above 396, the bulls are back in control.
All right. Yeah. That if that 360 support loses, I'm gonna cash out and wait for a lower entry.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, um, let's look at bull. I know that's something that we've kind of been watching. I've alerted some entries on, and it's been looking pretty good. It's been maintaining that $15 level relatively well. So I think we was actually on the roundtable talk last time when I drew this out and I asked Fridge what he saw, and he told me a smiley face. So so we still
Oh man, I love that.
we still got the smiley face in full effect. Um, and the next level could be 18, the $18 range. So that would be a nice upside. And if we can break that 1831, then we could potentially see 21, which this was already my long time target when I was saying buy the dip back here on below 10.50, $11. This was the dip buy here. So I feel good. I feel real good about this bull. I think we talked a little bit on this, but do you guys think that this could be, um, a big returner, kind of like Hood is?
That was gonna be my next question, man. I really
I like the interface. I honestly like the interface. Like for me personally, I like when I can visually see like set and like for me when I'm trading on Webull compared to Robinhood, like I can be like, oh, like stop loss, take profit, like boom, boom. I can see it right there. Like it's more user friendly for me. I think in terms of like trading instead of just like investing. Personally, I think, I mean, I've also, and people can love it and hate it if they want to, probably, but they have the nice little, chat community section where people can write some stuff in there. Some people, this few straight up nonsense, but some people have some very good charts. And there's one guy I know who's like very well known in the Webull community for charting, and a lot of people respect what he does, and he shows all of his charts and everything. And you can learn a lot from that one. Robinhood doesn't have that, I know, so it's that also is like I think a real difference maker. I would feel just having that community section there.
I wonder. I
so
wonder if Robinhood would actually add something like that. The
I
chat
think they
feature.
Yeah,
wanted to.
they might take it in a couple. They might do it in like sometime soon maybe. But I think it's a good little feature to have in there because you can talk to the people and see what people like share ideas with. Some people are just like, oh, like the 30-second candle is red, so it's gonna be bearish the whole month. I'm like, okay, dude, you're stupid. Like, relax. So some people have some absolute nonsense to put on like that, and don't get me wrong, it's all stupid, kind of like Wall Street bets at times. But there's some people who do some really good like breakdowns, some people post like they go over the earnings of certain companies and they kind of break it down a little bit. And I've gotten some really good perspectives of some people about saying like why earnings were so good, why they were bad. So they do a really good job, I think, in my opinion. I like it.
So I've got a Webull account, and one thing that I really, really like about it is that I can get the news on why a stock is moving. Like what happened, why did a stock pop? What happened with their earnings? Right away. What are we expecting for their earnings? What's their CEO doing? Who's making sells? It's really, really up to the minute. It's incredibly useful in my opinion. And the charts are a lot easier to use in my opinion than Robinhood, and setting alerts is
Yes.
super easy as well.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
I would
Never
have
used
to,
it.
man. Honestly, Webull is the first place I learned how to chart. It's the like Webull was the first interface. I started off trading on Robinhood, but when it came to charts, Webull was the first place I learned how to actually chart and actually learn what different moving averages and the SAR and different indicators like that. Webull is where I learned all of that stuff from. Me and Trade with Cash, he's one of the other guys on After Hours, but me and him used to run a Discord 2020, 2021, and like that's the only thing that we use. And then he finally was like, man, I'm trying out TradingView. It has so much more functionality and stuff like that, customability and all that. Like, you should try it out. And I ran from TradingView for a long time, super long time, and then I finally just gave it a shot. And I like it, but as far as Webull goes, like Webull I still have my alert set up to. It'll alert you on any stock that's in your watch list when it hits 52-week highs and 52-week lows, or if it's down a certain percent, or up or down a certain percent, it'll send you a notification about a particular stock that's on your watch list without you having to set reminders for it. So a lot of the momentum stocks that I'll be alerting you guys are saying, oh, such and such just broke 52-week highs or lows. A lot of those come from Webull that I just have stuck on my watch list. It's probably like over 100 tickers. But whenever one goes parabolic, it lets me know, and I'm able to go to TradingView or whatever and look at it real quick and chart it. I agree. TradingView charts are a whole lot quicker to chart, but Webull has been coming a long way as far as just like making it an all-in-one broker, kind of like Robinhood is. It's like that next level.
I was gonna say also that like for me, like I like that Webull has the desktop app. So like if I'm on my desktop, like I just click onto it, I'm already there, I'm good to go. Whereas like with Robinhood, like I gotta log in, I have to go on the browser, then log into it. And then like the legend is like okay. I haven't mastered how to use like their new desktop version. I have like a legendary, like it's like a legend software, whatever the hell they use for it. Weebles to me is like I can log in the morning. I boot up my computer. I click right onto the icon, and it puts me right in my charts, and I can look exactly what's going on. And it's simple. It's simple. It's effective. I don't have to go onto the browser, then log into Robinhood like I do there. I just think it's like that. And also, like when you put on like indicators, it's a cleaner setup on Webull. Webull did a really good job of having a nice clean setup. It looks so much better than how you look at Robinhood. You want to put on the EMAs, you want to put on Bollinger Bands, you want to put on whatever it is you want to put on for it. It looks so much nicer in Webull compared to Robinhood. And that's what I've liked about it.
I think to your point with the desktop, if Legend was desktop, it probably would work better, but it is very slow, and I don't like it. I've tried using it for a little bit, and I was like, this is gross.
So
I just didn't like it.
I've never tried it. Does it supposed to be like a more of a transition into like technical analysis?
It's got
Kind
some of that.
yeah.
I'd say then it's got like a real option chain there for you, as opposed to the whatever the hell you want to call it that Robinhood has on their UI. It's just more like traditional looking, I'd say, is the difference. And then you have the TA kind of aspect built in there, but it's it's slow and yeah.
Okay.
And so like what you could do is that like you can like put up like if you want to put up like 4 different charts and then put up your portfolio value, like you put a bunch of like widgets, kind of like you do on like an iPhone. You put up like some different widgets and stuff like that, and you can like track different things, whatever it is you want to look for. But I mean, still, like it just doesn't. It just isn't enough in my personal opinion. It doesn't work enough for me. So I looked at it. I go back to the simplistic one. It's kind of like me and like it kind of gives me like Coinbase Advanced vibes. If you ever did Coinbase Advanced, where you can get into like really trading crypto. To me, the Coinbase Advanced is way overcomplicated for me. I don't like using it. I didn't like using it when I had Coinbase. I don't really use it anymore. But it just seems like it just is way too complicated. And Webull is simple, effective, looks clean. It's not like gamified nearly as much as Robinhood is, but you know that's probably what brings over a lot of investors. Is that some investors probably don't want the gamified experience. They want the boring, sophisticated charting, simple, effective. I can make a lot of money on it, and it works. And they do a great job with it.
Makes sense. Let's see.
But to answer your question about what I think about Bull, just I don't know for sure, but I do have a bullish longer term trade on them, so we'll see.
On who? On Webull or Robinhood?
Bull. Yeah, on Bull,
Okay,
not
okay.
Robinhood. I own
Yeah.
Robinhood.
Yeah, I think Bull is gonna be a nice runner, especially from the smiley face setup that we got on the chart right now. So I'm definitely into that. SoFi, I think I got that one lined out. Let's see. Yeah. So sheesh, it's had a hell of a run this year. After consolidating between 14 and 13, it's sitting at around $23 to $24. Um, I wonder what kind of catalyst this would need in order to bring this down, because it looked like it's continuing a run straight up to the upside, back up to $26.
Well, interest rates would help this stock too. If
Yeah.
interest rates go low.
Yep.
I'm trying to see because I think it's too high to jump in right now. And the only reason why I'm saying that is just because it ran so massively. But in my head, when you see stocks like Robinhood and Palantir, take a minor breath and then start running again, I'm wondering if this one is going to be another one of those. So as of right now, I'm liking the support here like $23. There is a nice chunk of consolidation between this zone right here. So like below 22 and above 20, like it's a nice size consolidation right here. So I think if we get around there, it might be a nice place to buy some shares. But I wouldn't actually look for any type of contracts until we get like around this $18 to $19 range. This just kind of makes me nervous. This strong run up from June to now, it hasn't slowed down much. It hasn't really breathed, and it could continue to run, but it'll make me feel better if I just see it pull back just a little bit to see where the real money wants to step in at before loading back up again. So if you're already in, I think Jill said he got 40 leaps. I mean, if you're already in and you hold it, you good.
He's been bullish on SoFi for like the longest time. I remember, and he's just like, "Fridge, what do you want me to do? Like, how do you feel about this?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, it was awesome." He's like, "I was like, do you care about getting a sign?" He was like, "Nah, I don't care. I'll get a sign." I'm like, "Yeah, sure, man. Hey, if you don't mind getting a sign, like, dude, go for it, man. I love it, dude." Like, and that's the thing though, it's that like he has such conviction on it, which means that like he's probably going to do phenomenal because of how much research and due diligence and conviction that you have on a stock. Like that is what does well. is when you put that much energy and effort into it. And that's why I think he's done so well with SoFi, you know? I mean, I remember looking at SoFi when it was like $9, $10 a share, and then they had the flip from earnings per share from negative to positive, and it just, ever since then, it's been just killing it. It had a little bit of a pullback, but now it's like, oh crap, they're a profitable company now, like they're amazing. You know, like I just I give him so much, you know, credit for all the research he's done on that. I know he knows that company probably better than the CEO at this point. I feel like from all the investing he's done into it.
And he's just like, hey, I got 40 leaps. Hey, let's ride with it then. If you in
Yeah,
it
that's
and
right
you
with it.
up, just hey, go along with it. Go along with it. Like he's probably one of the ones I seen just completely just make ULTY his.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
When I see him sell something, I be like, oh my God. Like at this point ULTY should fly through the roof at this point once he sell all his shares.
Hey,
Yeah.
royalty, real quick. You know what I did the other day, man? I
What
decided from now on, when I make like a really nice gain on an options trade,
mhm.
rather than take that and just like keep that cash, I'm going to take the profit and I'm going to buy ULTY. I started that on Friday, man.
I think that's
I
pretty
think
dope. I've been watching it and I just think like I said what attracted me to it was that it actually had holdings, and I can't remember if Geo or M Finance pointed that out to me, but they was like, "No, it actually." I mean, it might have been you, Fish. Somebody pointed it out, and it was like,
it wasn't me. It was
you,
one of those two.
yeah,
Both of those guys are real knowledgeable in that fund.
yeah." That was like, "Nah, ULTY actually has actual companies that they break themselves up into." And I looked at them, and I'm like, "Okay, I see that they actually have something going into it." So, it, that has to be the reason why um their price action is so goddamn consistent. So it traded within this window right here for a long time. Look like from
Hmm.
June all the way up until now, pretty much. It's been trading within this $6 to $6.30 range. So even if it drops, like I said, I could see it coming down to five. Like that'll just be my next level of support. Not saying that it's coming down this far, but that'll just be my next level of support. But this entire gray area right here, if you just amass some shares, let's say somehow they held a 10% dividend, and you just completely just accumulated shares in this drop every week, it just dripped into there. If it rebalances and it puts the right stocks in place and it runs all the way back up, let's say you have a 550 or a 580, dollar cost average when it comes back above $6, you can turn that drip off and probably fund your portfolio every week. And that's just my take.
Mhm.
I know Carly said something, along the lines that it's an ETF that's composed of like, you know, what goes parabolic, app loving and MSTR, Coinbase, stocks that just go viral overnight. Like it's composed of those types of tickers. So if it puts the right combination right and all of those stocks start moving at one time, I mean I think ULTY can be very nice if it puts the right stocks in place.
You know what's interesting about it is I looked at this over the weekend because people all like are on like again you go on the Weeble community and people are just like this thing is gonna keep coming down, it's gonna keep going down, whatever, and people are just like then sell out and get out of here. Like I don't care. Like say whatever you want. It's an income play. It's not a growth play. We're gonna 10x your returns on the share price. And if you go into the total returns for this year to date with drip reinvested into it, I think ULTY you'd be up around like the math is like around like 7.8% on the year with drip reinvested with drip enabled, and SPY's only up like 9 or 10% on the year. So it's really not fallen that much farther behind compared to the SPY. So people always say like, yeah, you lose the value. People, they see the share price go down and they just think we're automatically you're losing money. You're losing money. This is a dying company, dying ETF, whatever. And it's like, well, think about it though. You're getting all this drip. You're buying in cheaper, which compounds your dividends for the following week. And if you make $500 in dividends and you're down 300 on the stock share price, you're still up $200. Like I don't think people understand that sometimes. That's not just about share price of a ticker like ULTY. It's about how much you've gotten paid out in dividends and then how much overall return is with those factored in. And you look at the math, it's not far behind SPY, which is really impressive, actually. I was actually shocked. I saw it. It was like 7.8% total return with drip. And I was like, wow, that's actually pretty dang good compared to SPY. So,
I also
thank you. Oh, go ahead, Bruno.
Go ahead.
No, please.
You're good, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, you go.
Dude, I was just going to say real quick. So like that's why I can get out of MSTY, which I'm going to be doing relatively soon. But it's because of the money that I've made on dividends, even though I'm down on the share price. So,
Yep.
Something. It was like a couple weeks ago for my Q&A where someone was, I think it was Rich Hammond, was like, hey, well, it dropped. Like, what would be your investment? And so I was like, okay, let's just pretend you got in an IPO at $20 and their dividend strategy has changed, but all of the dividends and you didn't reinvest, you're at break even. So it's like, okay, well, you just got cash out of it weekly, basically, is what's happening now, of course.
Yeah, and imagine
So,
if you
even without drip, it's not a bad.
Imagine if you did. Imagine if you did drip that. Oh my goodness, I can tell you what the return actually is on ULTY. I can pull up the calculator that I use for it. It's actually pretty impressive. I think ever since it was created. I can tell you really quick. Ever since the fund was created, it is up. Where is it? A $10,000 investment starting February of last year would be worth 11,000 now. So you'd be up about like 10 or 11%, or you'd be up about like 10ish% from there. Obviously, like SPY is a better return because SPY obviously has a much better return. So the same amount of money you put into SPY last year would be 12,000. So you're missing out about $1,000 or so of potential. But again, it's an income play that still isn't too bad. And again, imagine if ULTY, like Royalty says, imagine ULTY rebalances the portfolio and they go up to $6 something, like $6 or whatever again, this percent return goes even higher, so it's not a negative return if you factor in dividends. And people will always forget that with dividend investing, that because the stock is down, I am down. No. You have dividends, and the dividends offset it. And that's why the stocks go down. Stocks go down what their dividend payout is. That's how it works. It always will be that way. ULTY, you'll see a dip, that point, that 10-cent dip towards the end of the week because of the dividend payout you're getting. It's every dividend company that you look at does the same thing. It's not any different with ULTY.
Yeah. For me, I don't do the drip. I just use it to pay bills. That's all I do it with.
On the ULTY?
Yeah, I just have idle cash, and instead of getting 4% in Robinhood, I was like, you know what? I'll just buy ULTY and see what happens.
Yeah.
So smart.
And I'm using my $1,000 of free margin with it, which is not investment advice, not super, maybe not the smartest, whatever.
Now, like Gio said, it's not NAV erosion. Like it rebalances every week, so that's good to know. I didn't know how frequently it rebalanced, but I noticed that every time I go back and check it, it had been an updated or moved or shift, which companies they have as far as percentage wise. So I like that. The fact that it owns actual companies, like I like that. That excites me because I know push come to shove, if they rebalance the right way, it'd be unstoppable for a week.
Yeah, I think someone was talking about the breakdown. They have a lot of money in crypto related companies right now, and crypto's kind of pulled back a little bit, I believe. So I think that's probably also has been kind of negatively impacting the share price, is because of their rebalancing into crypto. But If they still have their positions in crypto and Bitcoin pumps up, 5-10% the next few weeks or so, then this stock can move also, not the same percent, but it can still move up because of what their holdings are. But yeah, if I'm looking at any dividend investing kind of logic to look at, I'm looking at Geo because he's got MSTY, he's got ULTY, he's got YMAX. This dude knows the dividends, let me tell you. And I will 100% listen to him over anybody on Webull forums, let me tell you, and Wall Street Bets.
Well, man, he said they own App Loving and AMAT. Man, I think AMAT just had earnings, and I think they just got.
They had all four. Yeah, they got pummeled.
I think they got mobbed. So, yeah, I don't know. Did that?
Which again could pull it down. Who knows?
Yeah.
Could pull down ULTY.
And then they had. Well, ULTY had AMAT in there. If you said it had App Loving. I know it had Coinbase in there and MSCR, and both of them were getting rattled last week. So, I mean, you've seen the dip coming when you knew that those stocks were being pulled down. So, look,
Yeah.
Gio said he want to get on stage. I mean, cool with that. Let's get him on here. Hold on. Is he on it? Did it let him up here?
No.
No, not yet.
Let me see.
Here we go.
Let's see. Oh, stage moderator. I'm not a stage moderator. I'm not cool enough for that.
Yeah, I did think you have to do it.
All right, there we go.
Hey,
Okay, we got you.
yeah, okay, real quick. They don't just like sell calls and buy calls on these companies. They're also buying protective puts. So even if a company like AMAT, goes in the crapper like it did, they're protected on the downside. Okay, so whatever was lost was really mitigated by by their puts. And that's why they're not dropping like, 20, 30 cents at a time. They're dropping maybe a nickel or 4 or 5 cents, and then they're only going to go up by about 4 or 5 cents at a time. It absolutely limits their upside, but we know this going in. Covered calls, what they do. All these companies have limited upsides.
Right. So
Yeah, I mean, it's an
You
income
go-
play. It's an income
Right.
play, right? I mean, like if it's an income play, of course you're not going to be looking for those 10x growth stocks. You're looking for those passive income, companies where you're able to consistently produce dividends every single week, every single month. The appreciation is great too, but it's an income play.
and see,
And if you're dripping, the compounding is freaking amazing. Because again, when I started out, I was compounding. I was getting about 50 shares a week on drip. Now I'm getting 200 shares a week on drip.
man,
Incredible.
That is wild.
man, I think it's kind of like how you guys are explaining it. Like, I think if you get a good dollar cost average on ULTY, and you can get in while it's low and accumulate shares, give it a month or two, just for the DCA to be nice. Once you find it in a little sweet spot with the rank, you can just turn the drip off and just reap that cash every week, and you can put that to shares, SoFi or Nvidia, ETH, Bitcoin. Like once your DCA goes green or it's close to it or it's not completely dipping, you could take those weekly payouts. Like Runga said, you can go pay some bills with it, or you can just reinvest it into what you want guilt free, because it's money that the market's giving you. And I think that's the real way that you should be playing the game with these yield max dividends. Is taking that money, if you have a solid dollar cost average, and then pouring it into other stocks and stuff like that, to really just not even playing options with it, just taking that money, that dividend payment, and buying more shares or something. Because
I've been pouring the money. Yeah, I've been pouring the money into QQQI and SCHD from my Misty dividends.
Nice.
And I also use it to buy, other just single stocks. But I haven't dripped a single share of Misty since I bought it.
Oh, that's nice. Fish had a lot of.
You can put me
Misty.
back off.
Nah,
You can put
okay.
me back off.
Okay. We appreciate you stepping in and giving us some nice info, bro.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Gio.
I got you.
Fish, you still got some Misty, or have you gotten rid of some of yours yet?
No. I'm still holding it. I still got 550 shares of Misty. I mean, look, the bottom line is that the return is not bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not. It's just not what I thought it was going to be. You know what I mean? And I feel like I can take this money out and have the money work harder for me elsewhere. You know what I mean? Um, but so my plan is to wait for the next dividend payout this month, and then I will assess where the shares are at that point. You know what I mean? Where the share value is, and see how much I'm down on it. But I'm almost positive that I'll still be able to get out with a few $1,000s profit. You know, again, because the difference in what the decline in share price versus what I've received in dividend payments. You know what I mean? So
If I'm just looking at Misty right now, it's approaching some support levels here at 1735. So I'm not sure how much more is gonna roll over from here. I know if it goes below 17, I think you should. Well, I would look at it as an opportunity to buy and leave on drip for a little bit if you believe in MSTR. I think below 17 is the time to really turn it on and just let it work for itself. And then whenever MSTR starts to come back to life and you see an increase, then I think you'll be able to reap the high payouts from those misty dividends. And then you won't have to
yeah,
worry about reinvesting those drips back into it.
yeah, no, I feel you. So yeah, when the IV, because that's where MSTY makes its money is off of the IV. So yeah, so you're saying like basically because right now the IV on MSTR options is like I think like around 45% on calls or something like that. You know, for I mean it's just crazy for a stock that was 143 for
Now,
the IV. You know
if
what
I
I mean?
if I go back and I look at WNTR, they're
Mm-hmm.
actually up and reclaiming support here, like around 3150. But how have anybody looked into their dividend payouts as of lately?
I don't know what they are, but I do know someone that's in them. It's a MicroStrategy bull that is in WNTR, and he likes it. He's also in that and IBIT, but he likes WNTR.
I'm like Fridge. I'm gonna have Labubu dolls. That's in my.
Yeah. First of all, Fish Tornadoes does not have Labubu dolls. All right, dude. Like, I know I sound like an expert here.
Sure,
I don't have
sure,
those. All right, hey.
sure.
I'm not like okay. My wall may or may not have like 30 of them. No, I'm just kidding.
I just I just looked at
uh,
WNTR on Yield Max, and it's been paying out $1.65. The most recent payout $1.85. It paid out $3.07 and then $2.71. So it's been paying out over $1 the past four payouts, but um, I mean it's been going down a little bit too. The payouts have been
Yeah.
so.
If we're on the topic of dividends, and no one may want to talk about not a yield max, but there's one that I like that's a O Realty Income. It's a monthly
Mm,
dividend,
I heard about
mm.
them
very
a
nice.
long time ago.
Yeah, I've owned them for a little while. I'm very happy with them.
You
Is
said
this
I
they're
just
haven't really.
a
they're a
REIT
weekly.
ETF?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
No,
I
no.
think it's an REIT. Yeah, REIT,
Yeah, the REIT
Okay.
and they're monthly. They have a
but
really
it's a
good
nice.
portfolio. They have like a bunch of major one. Like they have like leases at like 7-Eleven and like a bunch of like chain stores and stuff like that. Like they have like thousands and thousands of properties like worldwide. Like they're unbelievable.
Yeah, and,
They're
and you know
really good
monthly
ones right
payouts,
now.
so it's pretty nice. Pretty nice for
Yeah.
monthly.
Okay, and then remember what we were saying. If interest rates start going down continuously, like we would expect for the next 3 years,
Mhm.
what's I would only imagine that this price only rises.
Since I bought it, it's been going up, not very much, but a bit. But hey,
So they have 98.5% occupancy. They have 15,600 properties, over 1,600 clients, and 91 separate sectors. Where's their? I want to see what they actually hold though. Is it this? Maybe not.
98.5% occupancy is incredible.
So they have so major ones that you probably all know of: 7-Eleven, Dollar General, Walgreens, Dollar Tree, Wynn Resorts, FedEx, BJ's,
Nice.
Tesco, CVS, MGM, LA Fitness, Home Depot, AMC, Walmart. These are like their top 20 clients they really have. They have like 80% is all retail, and as we know, retail is obviously like the major factor of what drives the economies. So 10% are in grocery stores, 10% in convenience stores. Like they're all the place. Tractor Supply, like they are a company that like has real estate in every like sector and a lot of major companies. It's not just like unknown ones. And that's what I think I like about that, which is the same thing like you're saying with like Realty Income. Like I liked, I'm selling options on SoundHound AI, even though they're not profitable yet, but they're partnered with major known companies like car companies, fast food chains. Like it's the partnerships that's really what helps drive these companies to be like a good investment, in my opinion.
Agreed.
Portfolio for sure.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I'm about to look into. I heard about Old Realty a while ago. Um, it was them, and I think it's one called like Main or
Yeah, Main Street Holdings.
yeah, them
I
too.
believe.
Oh,
Yeah, they're another one.
Um,
There's another one that's a good one that's
a couple years.
O is a good one. I know some people do AGNC is another one that people do for dividends. They're a monthly one as well. They do something with I forgot. I used to be invested in them and I forgot so long ago. They have like a 13% yield payout every month. So it's a good one as well. But I know Maine's a really good one though for sure. And O Realty is like in my opinion, they're like king of like REITs is like them. Like because they have so much
Definitely
property, they have so much space. Like they're the highest of the highest I can think of in REITs.
well, look like we got some more people in. I don't know what happened, but the Discord alerted the stage super late for some reason. But I think I alerted an announcement channel that when we first started, but we done held everybody. Well, for the most part, we held everybody for about 2 hours here. So I think I'm gonna wrap it up. I do have it recorded, so I'm gonna post it on YouTube, and I'll send you guys Parunga and Fridge. I'll send you both guys the videos too, so that way you can have it also. But
Thank you.
real quick, I got Pan W up. I see Jay in the chat. He posted Pan W. This was something that we talked about and that we was watching over the past week when it dropped. Um, Pan W looks solid. I think we get more discount prices below 75 right now. I think Pan W and CrowdStrike, those stocks kind of run when the market cools down. So whenever we start falling back, whenever we start falling back on the market actually taking profit, then I'll see if I will watch for Pan W and CrowdStrike to see when they actually move. He said they got earnings coming up. Oh, they got earnings tomorrow.
Oh,
I
Someone.
I think they might go up. They might go up just because they've already been flushed. They've been flushed. So if they do drop, it'll be back down to around this 159 range. But I think they go up and retest these levels. I need to look at CrowdStrike and see how they're moving because they normally Pan W and CrowdStrike normally move with each other. And it's down. It's not as beat up as Pan W is. So he said they acquired some big cyber company and they're top two cyber security. So yeah, if Pan W does drop, I got eyes on like this 160 level. But if it makes it move back up to the upside with the earnings tomorrow, then I can look forward to reclaim like this 189, 190 level. But the thing is, it can get faded anywhere in this level. So if it does pop and you're playing earnings, take profit on the pop. I would say make re-entries with new contracts back up to this 206 level because you don't want to hold it and watch it just get, shredded back down. But um, it'll be interesting. It'll be something that we'll keep eyes on this week, especially after the earnings drop tomorrow. So we'll definitely check that out. But like I said, we're gonna be wrapping it up here. It's been 2 hours. I'm gonna post the recording for everybody to see. We appreciate you guys come hanging out. We're gonna do this every Sunday at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time with everybody in the kingdom. So um, we definitely depend on you guys' stocks, see what you guys trading, show you guys what we trading and what we're looking at. So that way, we can all be on unison once the market starts. So we'll tap in with you guys. I'm glad to share the stage with you fellas as always. And do anybody have any good words they want to share with the people before we head out?
Just want to remind everyone.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Fish.
I was just gonna say trade the charts, not the news.
Got you.
I was gonna say full port into Labubu's, not financial advice. But, feel free if you want. I also, full disclosure, Fridge Financials does not have Labubu's. Okay, I will take that to my grave. I do not have the animal.
Karunga, you got anything you want to send out to the people?
Yeah, I mean, I just have a good week, and just keep it small.
Keep it small. Hey, that's the truth. That is the truth. And if I want to send people home with something for this week, whenever you're entering and exiting a trade, always have a reason to enter and a reason to exit. Have conviction about which direction you're looking for. And if you're not sure, you can always play shares. Take the small gains. Every time I take a trade or I alert one, I always have a reason why I believe the stock, why I want to see the stock move. I'm not going to say it should, but where I would like to see this stock move according to this week. And this is why, I see what I see. If it doesn't do this, then I'm cutting it because it's no longer my vision, no longer, lines up with what I thought was going to happen. So you always have to have a reason or conviction to enter and exit trades, and that'll be your best friend. It'll keep you from cutting winners too early and cutting losers too late. You know what I'm saying? So that's our little gems for the week. We appreciate you for taking time out with us, and we'll catch you guys once the market's open. My DMs are always open too if you're in the kingdom. So if you have any questions, I think all of us can account for that. If you have any questions, definitely ask them in the Kingdom U channels, and whoever's best fit for that, we'll be able to tap in with you guys too. So see you guys tomorrow, and we're out.